Hello the vinyl community and YouTube, Jörgen S here. Not feeling my absolute best today. I have gotten a little cold and not feeling 100%, but still I'm not that bad that I can't make a video. And I felt like this summer I did a video where I showed records from one specific year. It was then I showed records from 1985, and felt like, why not? I can do this every now and then, celebrate a certain year, a certain musical year of my life with showing records that I listened on that certain year. And it will also hopefully be a little step back in time and remember those songs that you were playing on your CD player, record player, vinyl player, whatever, cassette tape recorder during that year, or what you listened mostly on the radio. And this time I'm going to focus on the year when the Gulf War ended, when Yugoslavia and Soviet Union fell apart, and when Carl Bildt became the Prime Minister of Sweden, and the year when I was in the middle of my college education. I went to college that year. I'm talking about 1991. 1991 for me was the year when there was so much great music on the market. It wasn't not something special that happened to my musical interest that year. I'll listen to stuff that I listened before. It was not something that a musical genre that boom clicked in my head. But it was a year filled with so great music, and during the whole year almost. So I feel like I wanted to show some great music from that year. And what I also like about 1991 is that it is a year when we're standing in the middle of two sides. You're having one foot in the old times with a lot of artists from the 80s still being releasing records, still being on the hit charts, and regular pop music still being sold, and the other foot in something really new with house music, dance music coming stronger, and rap music also coming strong, and this new time when the music business is coming with something new, and it is great to be able to sip in all the new, but at the same time feeling comfortable and listening to great old stuff. So 1991 was a great year for me when it comes to music. Going to start with some singles of songs that I listened to during 1991. We're having here all different kind of genres. We're having pop music. We're having some reggae pop. We even have some hard rock. We're having house music. But I'm going to start with some little sweet teeny bopper pop. This was a song that I actually liked very much when it came, because it was so sweet. It was really well made. Many of these songs hopefully will bring back memories of songs that you thought that you had forgotten, such as Dana Dawson, Romantic World. Dana Dawson was, as I remember, 16 years old when this single was released, and as she also sings that in the song, "Show a Growing Girl a Romantic World." Little sweet, little great guitar and great Latino pop that I actually liked. Also, this was a favorite of mine because this was Uh, an older artist from the 80s that I loved in the 80s that came back, did something great, but it did something completely new, and it was still very, very good. Talking about Green Garside or Scritti Politti, who came back alongside with Shabba Ranks and did a cover of the Beatles' She's a Woman. Fantastic song. Uh, really, really awesome sounder, awesome reggae pop. 1991 was also a year in Sweden where In Excess had their breakthrough. Uh, they had been big for years outside of Sweden, but in Sweden they got their first real hit charts this year. And I know that Adam 87 doesn't agree with me, but I think that In Excess in 1991 was at their best possible. I love the album X, and I think that these two singles that they released in 1991 was perhaps the best singles they ever released. Disappear and great ballad, By My Side. Very mysterical. Uh, I always thought that By My Side could be a great James Bond movie for some reason in modern form. I don't know, but something felt like that. So I like these singles are great In Excess singles, I think. 1991, coming now to when I started to explore the dance music. A lot of great dance music that was released during 91. In 1990, I discovered a band that more or less made me open my eyes to how great British dance music really was during that time. I'm talking about KLF. Uh, and I when I heard What Time Is Love first time during the autumn 1990, it totally knocked my feet off. It was such an amazing song. It took me a while to actually get into the follow singles, 3 a.m. Eternal, but I learned to like it soon enough. Then came Last Train to Trans Central, fantastic summer hit, a really awesome summer song, totally fantastic production. And during the end of the year, uh, they teamed up with country star Tammy Wynette and did Justified and Ancient. On single, on the album, it is not Tammy Wynette. The song is totally different. On the album, White Room, also a great album. So KLF, I love KLF. More dance music. This was a band that I started to like. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find an entire album with this band, but I have a couple of singles that I like very much. Talking about British Definition of Sound, Now Is Tomorrow, and another single that I heard on the radio and got interested in, Where Your Love Like Heaven. Great rap house music from the UK that has amazing produced. Now Is Tomorrow is fantastic produced, really laid back dance house soul. Going to take this one. Remember this one hit wonder, Chesney Hawkes, the one and only. I love this song because it was written by Nick Kershaw. Nick Kershaw that I always loved. So this is, I still love this song. Unfortunately, the album Buddy Song is not all that good. I can understand why Chesney Hawkes didn't have any other hits, at least not from this album. This is the song that I listen to most, that I like the most. My absolute favorite song of 1991, The Return of Chi Pao. I thought so at that time. I still love it, but maybe it's not the best song during the year I feel like right now. But at that time in 91, I thought that this one was my absolute favorite song. The return song, Whenever You Need Me. Great rock ballad that I felt was just as good as China in Your Hand. Uh, I feel today that it doesn't have the hit potential that China in Your Hand, but still it's an awesome ballad. I really loved the summer in 1991. It was such a fantastic summer when it came to music. It was sunny almost every day this summer. I remember I was at our summer residence in Örnsköldsvik the entire summer, and the music was fantastic. There was so much great songs that was popular that year. So summer 91 for me is a really knockout when it comes to memories, because it was so many great songs. I listen a lot to this, Zucker and Paul Young, Senza una donna, Without a Woman. Love the return of Paul Young. This is a rock ballad that makes us come into the next the next part of rock music. Anybody remember Kane Roberts? I know that Karsten Olsen in Denmark remembers him, because he has shown an entire album with this guy. But this song I remember I heard on radio one time. I recorded it on tape, and I never heard it more than 2 or 3 times after that. But I felt like it was such a great ballad. Does anybody really fall in love anymore? And I'm not. I think that most of you know by now, I'm not a rock that loves rock music all that much. But 1991 was a great year for rock ballads. I think there was so many great rock, these kinds of power rock ballads that was really good. We had Winger with Miles Away that I like very much. We had High Enough with Damned Yankees. We also had this one that I loved very much at the time. A totally forgotten song, Alias with More Than Words Can Say. This one is also a classic. I showed during the summer that I bought PM Dawn's album. Totally a little long title to mention, but I bought their album from 1991, and this is a single from that album that was so awesome. PM Dawn with Paper Doll. Really relaxing and cool. Here we have one of the absolute greatest songs ever. I've said that my absolute favorite album of all time is Susanna Hoff's album When You Were a Boy from this year. I showed it before, so I'm not going to show the entire album again, but I can show the single that I love very much. Susanna Hoff's with My Side of the Bed. Isn't she beautiful in this picture? On the other side is another song that actually is a great track from this album, When You're a Boy, Made of Stone. So this is perfect single. Swedish songs. What did we listen to in Sweden? What Swedish music were released? This is a band that was pretty controversial in its time. They were expressing things that made headlines, and they had a very unique and special look. But I loved their song at the time, and still like many of the songs. I especially feel that this song might be the best song they ever did. Army of Lovers is the band, and the song Obsession. This is a really classic song from that I love very much during the autumn in 1991. I also love the Swedish band Pontus Amerikanerna, Pontus and the Americans. They made very easy pop music with funny and different and very special lyrics. They had 2 great hits this year. They sung in Swedish. Captain Sol, Captain Sun. It was the summer hit single. Totally summer feeling in this song. And their very special ballad called God morgon Columbus. Good Morning Columbus. Of course, Europe released an album this year. and it was more mature than their albums from the 80s. This was why I definitely liked their first single from this album, Prisoners in Paradise. And of course, 1991 was the year of Per Gessle and Marie Fredriksson of Roxette. During 91 they had 4 hit singles on the Swedish hit chart from one and the same album, Joyride. Having of course Joyride, who was #1 at the Billboard as well, I think. We're having the follow-up single that might be one of my absolute favorite Roxette songs ever, among many greats. Fading Like a Flower Every Time You Leave. Such a great and amazing ballad. Marie sings so fantastic here. Missing Spending My Time. I don't have that one on vinyl single, unfortunately. And then the Big L, the 4th single from the Joyride album. Little forgotten Roxette song that is really, really great. Coming to some albums, starting with CDs, actually. I loved Paula Abdul's music. Her second album, Spellbound, was released this year, and I love the song Rush Rush and the follow-up single Promise of a New Day. Also, great year for Andy Bell and Vince Clarke of Erasure. They released the album Chorus. Had their biggest hit until this year date with the single Love to Hate You here in Sweden. Remember this, when the Simpsons tried to make music. This is their album, unfortunately not Perfect Sleep, but the Simpsons sings the blues. With Do the Bartman and we're having Deep Deep Trouble, and this one is not perfect album, but it's pretty okay for a special album in this case. So it's I have it more because I love The Simpsons, not mainly because it is a great album. Also 91, great year for R.E.M. I love Losing My Religion. I think you know that I have you've seen that I showed Shine Happy People, also some fantastic song. Great summer memories for that one. Losing My Religion also took me a while to actually realize how great this song was, but this is the album Out of Time, and this is a great album. Also an album that I've showed before. I showed it when I bought it at the record fair, but 91 also was the year when I think that Prince were at his best with this album, Diamonds and Pearls. Adam, you have reviewed this if I'm not wrong. Some fantastic singles here. I love the single Get Off. Money Don't Matter Tonight, also fantastic, maybe one of Prince's best songs. But I definitely most of all like the title track Diamonds and Pearls. Such a fantastic ballad. Also, we're having a band that was the ultimate comeback this year, and I loved every song that they released on this album. I loved this album from the very first time I heard it. OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, with their album Sugar Tax. Summer of 91 for me is Sailing on the Seven Seas. How I loved that song that year, and also the follow-up single that came during the end of the summer, Pandora's Box. This is a really, really great album. Not that much synth pop as the 80s albums, but very much synth and very much regular pop. So I love this album very much. But of course, 1991 was the year of this guy, Bryan Adams. And he released this album, Waking Up the Neighbors, and I gotta say, to me it's one of Bryan Adams' best songs actually. It is 2 LP set, and contains so much great songs. I love Can't Stop This Thing We Start is a rock classic. Then we have some songs that is great but not the best. We have There Will Never Be Another Tonight, maybe not as good as Can't Stop This Thing We Started, but I love Thought I Died and Gone to Heaven. And then of course automatically we get to finally the thing that I also did in the previous video of 1985, the most selling song in Sweden in 1991, to absolutely no one's surprise. So, of course it is Bryan Adams' Everything I Do It For You, from Robin Hood, the Prince of Thieves. A song that became a summer hit, even though it has 0 summer feelings, but it is fantastic, great ballad. I still think after all these years that this is one of Bryan Adams' premier ballads. So with that, I hope that you enjoyed my walk through the pop year of 1991. There are some great videos to make during the past couple of the coming weeks. We're having another vinyl update to make for September, but October 3rd also is Record Fair here in Sundsvall, so of course I'm going to do a little report and show what I bought there. So until then, I hope that all of you have a very nice week, continuing of the week and start of the weekend, and so long.